Welcome to my channel. Today we're diving into the chilling and mysterious world of Daddy's Head, a story that explores fear, loneliness, and the supernatural forces that bind a family together. From eerie encounters with an alien entity to haunting secrets buried deep in the forest, this film takes us on a suspenseful journey where nothing is as it seems. So, get ready as we unravel the twists and turns of Daddy's Head. Let's begin. The movie opens with a grim and unsettling tone. Daddy's Head, written and directed by Benjamin Barfoot, is a horror film that thrives on ambiguity. If you're someone who enjoys psychological horror that doesn't spell everything out, this film is a must-watch. Its real strength lies in its design, one that constantly keeps the audience guessing and engaged. The story centers around Isaac and his stepmother, Laura, who find themselves in a deeply unsettling situation following the sudden death of Isaac's father, James. This unexpected tragedy leaves both of them emotionally shattered. Isaac had only recently lost his mother, and before he could begin to process that grief, his father died in an accident. Now he was completely alone, without a single person he could truly call his own. Laura, too, was broken inside. She had married James out of love and had willingly accepted the role of Isaac's stepmother, even though she never intended to have children. The abrupt responsibility weighed heavily on her, especially after James's death. Laura began spending most of her nights drinking herself into unconsciousness, often re-watching old home videos she had recorded with James. Both she and Isaac were mourning, struggling in silence to bridge the emotional distance between them. But things took an even darker turn when Laura began to suspect that Isaac was involved in the mysterious death of their dog, Bella. Recently, Isaac had claimed that his father still visited him, but that he wasn't the same anymore. According to him, his father had transformed into a strange creature that walked on all fours. Laura started believing something was wrong with Isaac. Her suspicions grew when a knife went missing from the drawer beside her bed, leading her to think that Isaac might have stolen it and killed Bella. What was really going on with Isaac? And who or what was actually visiting him? One possible explanation for the events in Daddy's Head is that Isaac was mentally disturbed and that the creature he claimed to see was simply a figment of his imagination. That theory holds some weight. Loneliness had completely consumed Isaac, and he was desperate to reconnect with his father in any form. He spent most of his time playing video games, and any interactions he had with Laura were cold and strained. They had nothing to talk about, and he didn't even like the food she prepared. Things took a terrifying turn when Isaac saw a strange creature in the house, something that jumped out of the window when Bella chased it. He was terrified, yet strangely fascinated. For the first time, Isaac asked Laura if he could sleep in her room. While sleeping, they unknowingly held each other, finding a rare moment of comfort. Deep down, both of them knew they were each other's only support, and a fragile sense of connection began to form between them. Though there was a comforting feeling between Isaac and Laura during the night, come morning, they refused to accept the harsh reality. Isaac's imagination was incredibly vivid, and he was a talented artist, though his subjects were usually dark and disturbing. One night, just as he was about to fall asleep, he saw a creature in the corner of his dark room calling him. The creature wanted Isaac to follow it into the woods. The next morning, when Isaac stepped into the garden, he spotted his father peeking out from behind thick bushes. Isaac was so young that he did not find this strange. He was simply happy that his father had come to visit him. However, Bella, the dog, sensed something was wrong and ran toward the creature that looked like James. Laura knew she had to take control of the situation. She arranged for Isaac to see a psychiatrist to understand what he was going through. The psychiatrist believed that the creature Isaac saw was merely a product of his active imagination, a coping mechanism forced by the sudden loss of both his parents. Taking the psychiatrist's advice seriously, Laura decided to spend more time with Isaac rather than ignoring his words. One day while walking in the forest, they came across a strange structure. Isaac was convinced that his father, who was an architect, had designed it for him. He was determined to go inside to see if his father was hiding there. When Laura tried to stop him, Isaac struck her in the face, marking a breaking point for Laura. James and Laura's friend Robert offered to help Laura recover from the trauma. Robert was very close to James, and the loss affected him personally as well. After the attack in the forest, Laura reached out to Robert and asked if she could stay with him for a few days. She felt unsafe staying alone with Isaac and needed someone's support. Robert helped with Laura's daily tasks and tried to convince her to give Isaac another chance. But she refused. She was genuinely afraid. Robert offered to take Isaac into his home. As a father himself, he thought Isaac's presence might be good for his two daughters. Laura asked Robert to install a surveillance camera in Isaac's room, hoping it would be the only way to understand what was happening with him. That night, Laura heard someone crawling on the roof, and Bella was again seen chasing an unknown entity. Bella made her way to the strange structure Isaac had found earlier. There, she encountered a dog that looked exactly like her. Determined to confront it, Bella faced the strange dog. The next morning, Bella's body was found, brutally stabbed with a knife. Laura was shocked to find that Isaac seemed completely unaffected by Bella's dead body. Her concern grew even more when she discovered that someone had desecrated James's grave. Laura kept a close watch on Isaac through the surveillance cameras. But one night, things took a turn for the worse when she got distracted after drinking alcohol. Isaac heard strange noises coming from the ventilation duct and moved toward it. Suddenly, he saw Bella's nose poking out, and when he peered inside the vent, he saw his father's face again. Isaac desperately wanted everyone to know that his father had returned, but James warned him to keep quiet. He cautioned Isaac that Laura was watching him closely and told him not to trust her. James also revealed that he had built a house for Isaac and wanted his son to see it. Isaac pleaded with his father to reveal himself to Laura and Robert, but James refused, saying they would never accept his current state. When Laura heard Isaac's voice, she checked the camera and was horrified to see him talking to James. It was the first time she saw what Isaac had been describing for days. Laura screamed in fear, but by the time she and Robert reached Isaac's room, the figure had vanished. Laura again consulted Isaac's psychiatrist, and they concluded that both Laura and Isaac were struggling with their current reality. Overwhelmed with frustration, Laura lost control and screamed in despair. Taking care of Isaac, losing James, and living alone in the vast house was taking a heavy toll on her mental state. Robert tried to calm her down, and Laura, unable to think clearly, found comfort in him and kissed him. Isaac secretly watched them kiss, and at that moment, completely lost trust in Laura and Robert. He ran into the woods toward the house his father had built. There he heard his father's voice again. James wanted Isaac to bring Laura and Robert to the house, and Isaac promised to do so. Before a strange creature could enter the house, Laura had a vivid dream of blue and red lights and saw James's car crash deep in the forest. The next morning, a fire broke out in the woods. Those lights could be seen as an approaching spaceship, and the smoke was an ominous sign. The creature resembled an alien, and it would not be wrong to say that its special ability was to take the form of any earthly creature. Perhaps Isaac was just one of its many victims, and just as it hunted Bella, it intended to trap Isaac and Laura too. The creature, taking James's form, could easily manipulate Isaac and had convinced him to bring Laura and Robert to the house. After attacking them, it planned to trap Isaac as well. The alien theory can also be interpreted metaphorically, that this creature represented the emotions Isaac and Laura were feeling. It symbolized their sorrow and deep loneliness, and Isaac was sinking into this dark abyss. When the creature asked Isaac to bring Robert and Laura to the house, Isaac obeyed. Robert wanted to keep Isaac close, so he agreed to accompany him into the woods. Isaac told Robert about the lair his father had built and expressed his wish to spend some time there. Respecting his decision, Robert agreed to see the structure James had created. When Robert tried to convince Isaac that his father was no longer in this world and would never return, Isaac became agitated. Robert attempted to take Isaac back home, but Isaac refused. Suddenly, Robert heard a strange noise from the lair. When he shone his flashlight toward the entrance, he saw a creature with James's face. Towards the end of the film, Daddy's Head, this creature attacks Robert, and he is hospitalized in critical condition. At the film's conclusion, Laura tells Isaac that she will no longer be his mother, and Isaac expresses his frustration by revealing that he saw Laura kissing Robert. Laura apologizes and asks if Isaac destroyed his father's grave. Isaac admits his mistake, but also denies stealing a knife from Laura's room and claims he had no connection to Bella's death. That night, Laura felt uneasy and went to check on Isaac. When she entered his room, she saw the strange creature sitting beside him. Terrified, she screamed and shut the door, injuring herself in the process. But when she heard Isaac yelling, she got up and returned to the room. Despite his head bleeding, she managed to hold him. Isaac pulled out a knife from under his cabinet and gripped it tightly. The creature told Isaac it was as lonely as he was and invited him into its lair. As the creature approached Isaac, Laura pushed it back and repeatedly stabbed it with the knife. The creature fled their home, and the story ended there. Years later, Isaac returned to the house, haunted by memories of that strange event. Somehow, the creature had forced Isaac and Laura to come together and face the impending disaster. As soon as Isaac and Laura realized they were not alone and had each other, they found solace in each other's presence, and the creature had stopped tormenting them. At the end of Daddy's Head, Isaac, now grown up, returns to the lair. There, he discovers a photo of himself and his father, along with the remains of the alien creature's skeleton. The alien had stolen that very photo, which it had seen the first time it entered their home. It had shaped its face to resemble James's picture, but there was a deep hole in the skull, proof that this was no ordinary skeleton. Isaac returned home, and we learned that he still lives with his stepmother, Laura. Together, they were happily living their lives in a new house. And that's the story of Daddy's Head, a haunting tale of fear, survival, and unexpected bonds. If you enjoyed this explanation and want to see more intriguing movie breakdowns, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.